Hey everyone, it's Caitlin Uses from Reckless Sisu Coaching. I'm checking in because I wanted to share a win for this week. Um, we don't always get these, right? We should, but we don't always. And I had a win this week. I had shared previously that I found out after digging in some medical records that I had been very conveniently blocked from. Um, it's not that I was taken off, it's that they made it very difficult for me to access them. Once I did, I realized that my daughter had been put on a controlled substance that I have been very adamant that I am not okay with and is not what I would suggest and would agree with for a treatment plan for her. I had something set up that if in fact she had this diagnosis they claim she has of ADHD, which I know she does not have, she has PTSD, that there was a proper treatment plan that would be followed that would be in her best interest to rule out anything and to make sure that a proper diagnosis was actually discovered and it was handled properly. This is something that's very important to me. And this is completely ignored and behind my back was put on a controlled substance despite the massive amounts of addiction in her family and predisposal to, and the fact that there's non-narcotic drugs that work just as well. That should have been the first option and weren't. I reached out to the doctor. I was a little nervous about how that was going to go because I will tell you what, I was very angry. I was livid. I cannot tell you what it felt like to have to picture talking to the person who put my daughter on drugs. It made me very angry. But once I got on the phone with this doctor, it was a great conversation. It went very well. She was very kind, very compassionate to the situation. She listened to me. She heard me. She asked questions about the relationship I had with my daughter and how things had been going. Most people don't ask these questions. This is very rare that someone actually cares and wants to know. And I was very thankful for that, to that doctor. And she reached out and had a conversation, and she's not going to be prescribing those for my daughter anymore. And she's taking her off of them, which is so amazing. Like, that's such a huge win for me because the thought of my daughter being on a serious medication like that is very scary to me and puts me into a lot of distress. So the fact that all I had to do was make a phone call, express, hey, this is where I'm at, this is my feelings on this is why I don't feel comfortable with this, can we come up with another plan? And it worked, and they're irate, they're angry, they don't understand why anybody listens to me, but I know what's best for my daughter. I do, because I'm her mom and I love her, and I take the time and I take the effort to find out what's best for her because I want her best interest is my number one priority. And I prove that through action. I prove that through my behavior. Yes, I've struggled with addiction. Yes, I know. It's the one thing that they have, right? I use substances to numb. That was the coping mechanism that I found. And I didn't have anything healthier until I did. Until I went out and I found them actively. Because I don't want to rely on those old, toxic, coping mechanisms to heal and to get through. I don't want to just get through my life. I want to conquer it. I want to overcome it. And I want to be better. And I can't do that if I'm just managing and I'm just numbing. So that's the one trick pony that they go back to all the time. And it really just isn't effective anymore. I show my love and I show my dedication to my children by the effort I put into treatment plans, what should be done, the research, the reading, the knowledge I seek, the hard decisions, the things I do that, you know what, people don't like. But I'm willing to do it because it's what's best. It's what I feel is best. It's not about placating and doing, it's, if it were up, I feel like the way this was set up in my alienation situation was that they lost control. My ex lost control of me. He hardly had it to begin with, but he completely lost it. And the only chance he had left was to use the very things that I find hold most dear, and that's my children. That's the only chance that he had, because he is such a spineless coward who can't even look me in my face because he is that big of a coward. But he will use my child to get what he wants, or he thinks that he's going to, and I'm not going to allow him to use my child to control me. He tells me things like, if I want to have a relationship with my daughter again, I need to do these things. Do I think that going against what he wants is really going to bring my daughter back to me? And continues to tell me and proceeds to tell me that it's not. And by me challenging him, I'm further pushing myself away from my daughter, which is so disgusting and sick. Using a little girl, a teenage girl, taking a mother away from a teenage girl who needs her mom more than ever to get what you want because you are so cowardless and spineless and disgusting that you can't get it on your own. I have zero respect for that, and I'm not going to co-sign on that, and I'm not going to participate in that. It's not going to work. The conversation the last few days was, don't you want to have a relationship with her? I'm sure this is hard to hear, but this is not going to help your relationship with her by sabotaging her in these ways. I'm not sabotaging anyone but you and your plan. Not my daughters. You're not going to use the potential that I could have a relationship with her more quickly if I do these things that you want me to do as a way to gain control. It's not creative, it's not sneaky, and it's not even that good of a strategy. And if that's all you have, then you are going to be very, very disappointed. There's nothing that's going to stop me from being a good mother. I'm not going to not be a good mother to have time with her, or to have that relationship back with her, because that's what I did in the past, and it was like building a house on sand. It didn't matter, because I wasn't being a good mom. My presence wasn't just enough, because that can be taken. That was easy. And this is the hard stuff. Fighting is doing the hard stuff. And I didn't want to do that stuff before, because it rocked the boat, and it made things complicated for me, and it made things uncomfortable for me, and it highlighted all of my bad stuff, and it was shaming, and I didn't like how it felt. So I did what was easy, or what I felt was the best, and it wasn't the best thing for my daughter. It really wasn't. And now that I know that, I have to change. So it's one more day. It feels like they're getting harder. It feels like they're getting a lot harder. And it's been almost a year. And it was this time last year that she was really, really struggling. And I couldn't help her. And I was trying so hard. And the PTSD from the abuse and the gaslighting was so bad that I almost didn't make it out of it. And I had to start making decisions for her to help her. And that meant bringing her to the ER. that meant putting myself out there for exposure to as a target, and it didn't matter what happened to me at that point, because she needed it. And I wonder if I should have done that a lot of days, but I believe that I did the best thing for her, and I have to trust God in that, and I have to trust that God gave her me as her mom, because I'm the one that can help her through this, and I'm strong enough to do it, and I have all of the tools and the skills needed to get through this situation, and I'm thankful for that. And if I don't, I will die trying, and I'll make sure that there's not one person on this planet that can say that I didn't try my best and I didn't give it everything I had. Grace, I want to be a good mom to you, and I know that you don't know what that looks like. I know that people aren't gonna validate that, and people aren't gonna encourage that, or they're gonna do the opposite. They're gonna demean it. They're going to mock it. They're going to try to convince you every reason why it's not me being a good mom. But I am a good mom to you, and I love you, and I'm doing what's best for you. And people might be telling you otherwise, and that's okay, because I know, and I'm going to continue to do what is best for you, even if I'm the only one that knows it, or has to believe that it is, and has to trust that it is, because I'm your mom. And if your mom doesn't know what's best for you, then who does? I love you. I'm sorry that you think you got a raw deal in the mom department. I'm sorry you think that you have a mom that doesn't love you. You have a mom, probably a mom that loves you, the most loving mom on this entire earth. There's not a mom that loves her daughter as much as I love you. There's not a mom that would do the things for their daughter that I would do for you. And I'm sorry that you haven't been able to see that yet, but I trust that one day you will. I trust that one day you will. And you'll know how worth it you are, because you are so worth it. You are so worth it. It's not because I'm great. It's not because of anything that has to do with me. It's just because you're so worth it and worth fighting for. So I hope someone speaks that into you, some life into you. I hope someone tells you that one day. And maybe you believe it, or you consider it. And if I have to wait to heaven for that to happen, then you know what? Then so be it. But I'm not going to do the easy thing here, because it might get me, more time with you or a conversation with you. I'm going to do what's best for you as your mom and be your mom. And being a mom is not always easy. Being a parent isn't easy. And being a parent is doing really hard stuff. It's easy to just be in your life. It's really hard to be a good parent. And I don't know, because I never even had that. I didn't have good parents. I'd take the best of what they gave me, what they were willing or able to give me, and I had to make something good from it, and I did. But the one thing I learned is how to be a really good mom, and how to love you incredibly hard, and how to look out for what's best for you. I hope that you can see that. I hope that the things I'm doing and the decisions I'm making are going to be better for you and are making your life better. I wonder every single day if you miss me, if you think about me. Some days I want to imagine like you don't, because it's easier, and some days I want to picture that you do. I love you, and I am still here fighting, and it's not a short road. This is not a quick feat. This is the long haul, but I'm going to do it for you. And any parents out there that are doing it, keep doing it. And don't just do it halfway. Like, do it. And reach out for help. And find some joy in it. Because there's still beauty in the world. And I still have another child that I have to live for. And I know that I'm going to get through this. And I just need to keep trusting my gut is her mom. And trusting God. Hang in there, all of you. I know each day is hard. At least it is for me. And maybe I'm out talking to blackness and no one. But it's all I have. It's all I have left. And I'm holding on to that faith. Love your kids. Take care of yourselves. Bye from Minnesota. Pray for grace, please.